everybody. Thank you so much for joining us at Tribeca 2025. This evening, my name is Madison Eagan. I'm the short film programmer at Tribeca Festival. Along with my colleague Ben Thompson, the VP of Shorts Programming. This year we received a record number of short films. Nearly 9,000 shorts were submitted. I know, pretty crazy. We selected 93 shorts from that 9,000. And tonight this evening, afternoon, I don't know what day it is anymore. We have 5 fabulous shorts in the Embrace the Music block. We'll be exploring music from all over. The program runs 82 minutes. I'm going to announce the filmmakers, and when I call your name, please stand so we can acknowledge you. To start, we have Oh Yeah, directed by Nick Canfield. Pavilhão, directed by Victoria Fiore. If I Can Dream, directed by Louise Cross. Freeman Vines, directed by Tim Kirkman and Andre Robert Lee. And last but not least, we have Songs of Black Folk, directed by Justin Amika and Haley Watson. Thank you all so much for joining us. Please stick around at the end of the screening for a brief conversation with the filmmakers, and please remember to turn off your phones. Thank you so much and enjoy! So let's start by reintroducing yourselves, and then if you'd like to shout out anybody here from your team and just say a few words about that.
Absolutely. I'm Haley Watson. I'm one of the directors and the producer of Songs Black Folk. I do want to point out that Leslie and Ramon are here with us, who you just saw.
Hi, my name is Justin Ameka. I'm also a co-director on Songs of Black Folk.
I'm Nick Canfield. I'm the director of Oh Yeah.
My name is Tim Kirkman. I'm the co-director of Freeman Vines. My co-director, Andre Robert Lee, could not be here, but he's coming later in the week. And Gil Holland is the producer, and he's here as well.
Lewis Cross for the film If I Can Dream. I haven't got any of my crew here, but I've got 3 of my family back there.
Hey, I'm Victoria Fiore and I'm the director of Pavilhão, and I'm very happy to be accompanied by my co-producer Julia Tonon. I've had my editor Rebecca Jin, hey Bex, and my gorgeous passistas, and without you I couldn't have done this. Also Sophia and Kami. Hi guys. That's it.
So film and music are intrinsically linked. And I think that these films kind of encompass multiple genres, multiple cultures, and historical moments in music as well as film. I'm wondering if you could speak about something that you discovered from either the artist or the genre that you were working with as you were making the film. And we can start at the end with Victoria, and we'll come down this way.
Okay, so this is quite a difficult one to answer because I knew about the whole history way before making the film, so that comes way before. And I guess I didn't really have another way of making it. It had to be made. Just speaking, we were talking about this earlier, like what came before for me was the music, was the dance, was the culture, then to then open up I don't know, the conversations with the whole Velha Guarda, all of the people that you've seen in the film, it just came out of constant conversations that we have no other way but to film it because it hasn't been filmed yet, and I can't believe we haven't filmed it in this way, so we have to do it. So yeah, I don't really know how to answer your question because the music and the culture came before the film.
But you felt an urgency to tell the story. Why now?
Why now? Because I feel that we just haven't seen samba told in that particular way, and connecting really, I think it's really important to see it from a perspective of spirituality and from the whole history and from the hundreds of years of history, and even more, to be honest, that it is a music that comes from pain and we celebrate joy, but it comes through somewhere that's so much deeper, and that's a story that I feel hasn't been given enough voice to. So it comes out of wanting to give the voice to the history behind it.
Beautiful answer.
Okay, thank you.
I would say my film, I suppose I discovered the music is it's on its own, separate to the character that I was documenting, and so obviously I kind of went on a bit of a journey to tell his story, but his story was so intertwined with an icon, and I chose to kind of, I suppose, like tell it through him as a vessel, as opposed to focusing too much on the iconography of someone like Elvis. So it's quite a difficult subject to take on such a big icon, so I think I just focused on him and his desire to find something that was true to him.
Great, thank you.
For Freeman Vines, when the project first came to us across my desk, it was that there's this incredible artist in North Carolina who makes guitars, and I immediately thought this is going to be a film about guitars. And what we discovered immediately was that one of the first things Freeman said to us was the guitar meant nothing to him, and that money meant nothing to him. And so our search, his search was for a sound, our search was for what the sound meant to him. And so what became meaningful to us was not just what Freeman was making in terms of these guitars, but also what this search was about. And so the discovery for us was that the sound became this metaphor for so many things, including his death, his imminent death, and then hearing his sister sing. That's one of the voices that I come away with, and the song that I'm surprised that I find myself singing, in the middle of the day while I'm working sometimes. So that was a really wonderful discovery.
I guess first I'll thank a couple of the crew because I didn't do that before. Editor Paul Lovelace is here, cinematographer Nelson Walker, our title producer Deborah McCletchy, and our executive producer Aleksia. Thank you guys for being on the film. I guess what I learned is that everybody thinks that song is sort of just like a one-hit wonder, but Boris and Dieter sort of don't really care. They're really art for art's sake type of artists, and they're just out there making music. What Boris says is true. He's just like churning out albums. If you want to go into a deep dive of like weird electronic Boris music, you can do that for days at a time. So yeah, and they really don't take themselves too seriously. I mean, it's really great to see people who don't care at all about being famous, don't really care if you listen to their music or not. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that anything would be different if their song had never been in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. So they are true avant-garde weirdos.
I think for me, I just was reminded in watching all these films and in working on our film, just the urgency beneath our music that we celebrate, and how so much of our music is the living history, as Dr. Braxton said in the film, that we are living the music, we are living the history right now. And with this film in particular, as the talk about Juneteenth, we're still as a nation really trying to figure out what Juneteenth is. Everybody has their own relationship to Juneteenth. What it means to have a holiday that's about delayed freedom and delayed justice, and delayed identity, and how music has been the lifeblood of our culture, of our spirituality, and it only continues to exist the more we keep continuing to sing our songs that live inside of us.
a little bit of the same as Justin, but I was one of those people when Juneteenth became a holiday, I had no idea what it was. I was like, are we gonna get the day off work? Is this gonna be something where everyone gets together and celebrates? I'm not sure what the tradition is, what's happening. Fast forward to a year later, I meet Leslie and Ramon, and I find out the amazing things that they're doing with the Song of the Black Folk. And it's still, they're actually about to do their performance in 2 weeks. This will be their 4th annual performance. So it's something where their effort to create this legacy of celebration, I thought was really beautiful and should be captured.
So we have time for one more question, right? Great. What do you feel you want the audience to take away from these stories? They're so cultural and rich and different. What do you want to be taken away from it?
Yeah. Well, I think first and foremost, we want to make sure that Songs of Black Folk is more than just foreign performances in the movie. It's something that's going to be a tradition for a long time. Performances are amazing, but they're very fleeting. So it was amazing to capture it in a film to hopefully be able to keep the tradition alive and share it with other people.
Yeah, mostly just inspiration. You know, I want people to dig deeper and look around in their local cultures. I'm always inspired as an artist to shine light on Black culture in places you don't expect to find it. And wherever Black people are, they're making brilliant, genius work that's recording history. And to, you know, also to see ourselves inside each other. We're in such a time right now in our nation's history, again, is where there's something that's keeping us from seeing ourselves inside of each other. And I think that our art and our music is really, you know, the force that will help us see and build a true community in a time that's needed more than ever.
I guess Oh Yeah isn't really just about the song and about Boris and Dieter, but also about why a song, or any song for that matter, like enters our cultural lexicon and why it stays there. So it's not just the beats and what's catchy about it, but what it says psychologically, you know. And Americans, we have this identification in our culture with lust and desire and excess and gratification. And these are all things that the song represents. So every popular song or things that are utilized all the time has some identification, some emotion behind it. And we use music and film to convey emotions, and that's not really something that we think about. So now you'll all think about, why is that song so popular? Why does that song convey this emotion? Why do I keep hearing this song and all these different things? So I hope you guys will think about that.
I definitely will. I mean, nobody watches the same movie. All of you have different responses to every film. But there are two things that come to mind. One is that I hope it exposes audiences to this extraordinary artist. And I hope you remember the name Freeman Vines and share that name, because I think he is an incredible artist. And he's not an outsider artist. He's not a folk artist. He's a fine artist. And he should be recognized for that and remembered for that. And I think his work proves this. The second thing is, I grew up in a very rural area of North Carolina, and I have so many family here. Thank you for coming, including my 95-year-old cousin who made the journey, who was a huge influence for me personally, and who I love dearly. And that would be the second thing, which is to recognize rural art and people who live in areas that are forgotten or erased. And I feel like I hope you'll take that away as well. Thanks very much.
I think the thing that I took from Andre's story was that he had been searching all of his life, and that was quite coming to the age of being 50 plus and still not knowing what your journey is, what your path is, and then ultimately music being the thing that just unlocks everything for you. I think that was super powerful for me, and before I'd met him, I don't know, I mean, my relationship with music had always been like an amazing relationship, but he really unlocked that for me as well. So I think that was my point of telling his story, is that I think he just, I suppose, just inspired suppose maybe people in this room to think about it as if you're 50, 60 years old. It's maybe not always, you know, it's never always just predetermined. So yeah, I was quite inspired with finding late on in life that music is your passion.
Can I ask the question? Can I hear the question again? I just want to make sure I'm answering the question.
What do you want the audience to take away from your film?
Yeah. I guess as someone who lives Carnaval as much as I do, and I know people in the audience definitely live it as well as I do, I think it's so important to just understand the depth and how much history, pain, and just joy, no matter what our dance carries. I want people to understand that in the movement of our hips and in every beat of the drum, there is so much history that we cannot just decorate with feathers and all of the costumes that are out there, because each of these symbols carries so much behind it. Even just the glamour and the beauty, it comes out of a place where you just need to represent yourself, because the stories you're carrying are so heavy on your shoulders. And I just really needed to make this with everyone from the comunidade who made it with me, to just show that it's not just a dance and it's not just a rhythm, as music never is. Music always carries so much more, and to understand that there's so much spirituality behind this. Like, we had the orishas like accompanying us from the beginning, from the first day of the shoot, and asking them to open the doors for us to even make this film possible. And that is just a tiny bit of an open doorway to understand what samba is, and in truth many other music genres. So I hope we can have a chance to understand other music genres in the same way. I think that's all.
Well, that's all the time we have. Thank you all, and thank you to the audience.